Hi, my name is Isaiah Wilkins, and I played basketball at Longwood University, and I graduated in 2022. Longwood was my third school, and being in college, and I never expected something like that to happen, but that's the way the cards were dealt for me, and I just took it on the chin, came there, um, tried to make as much of a difference as I could, and it worked out for me. And yes, it was a confidence boost for me going into the next year and being where I'm at now. So I'm very appreciative of it. We were a really close bunch, and I think that propelled us to be the best that we could be. I think we only lost one game in conference that year, and that's pretty big for any team in the nation. So just being on a team like that where there are no egos, everybody plays for one another, nobody's selfish. Just having those type of characteristics will take you a long way. It was a really, really good experience. I kind of really wanted that experience for my teammates because I've already experienced it one other time before then playing for Virginia Tech, and that's an accomplishment not a lot of guys at that level get. So just seeing those guys be happy and just soak in the moment and just be there, it meant a lot to me. It was different. Guys here I would say are a lot more physical, stronger. Just nothing that I wasn't accustomed to, but the speed of the game was something that I really had to adjust to. It's much, much faster, and when you do come to places in Europe, they expect you to play a lot. So I'm clocking almost 30 something minutes a game out of the 40 minutes. And it's just going back and forth, going back and forth. But the adjustment for it took, obviously it's going to take anybody, a few weeks, I would say, to really get used to it. And once I got used to it, it was good. Nobody really knew, but I dealt with injuries when I got there. And that was new to me as well because I was never used to really being hurt. Never really missed any games or sat out. So just being hurt and having to watch, my teammates go out there and battle and I can't do anything to help, it allowed me to grow up a little bit too, because instead of me just pouting on the bench, cheering them on, doing what I have to do to give them energy so that they're, able to go. And I've also learned the business side of, playing overseas as well. There was a lot of things that I didn't know coming in, but now that I know more of the ins and outs, it's easier to navigate going forward. So. The biggest challenge I would say is probably, leaving home and coming so far away. I took 3 flights to get here, and it took me a total trip of 32 hours to get here. And I'm hours away from my family, everybody I know, everything that I love. And you're kind of in isolation. You have to kind of figure things out for yourself. Just adjust to your surroundings, adapt to your surroundings. And the biggest challenge has been also probably the language barrier, I would say. No, not a lot of people speak English, in Europe. There are more often than not they do, but in this specifically here in Tel Aviv, nobody really speaks English. You have to go to the main city in Tbilisi to get anybody that speaks English at all. But here, nobody speaks English, so the biggest thing is probably the language barrier. The most exciting part was going on a win streak. We got a little mini win streak because we were losing in the beginning. We couldn't figure it out, couldn't put it together. And then something clicked, and so all of a sudden we started winning. And, I think in any sport, once you win, everything else feels good. You're enjoying life a lot more. No, so that was my biggest memory here. The biggest lesson I've learned is you can never get too high and you can never get too low. A lot of times you get comfortable. I think you tend to get comfortable as a player. Sometimes if you're having a good streak of games, you're scoring a lot of points, you're doing this, doing that, and you have one bad game, sometimes that can mess with your mental, but you have to reel yourself back in and know that, okay, I got to move on to the next thing and I got to get back to where I was. Or if I keep trying to think about how bad I did, it'll just take me into a deeper hole. So just try not to get too high and try not to get too low. I think anybody's goal that's playing overseas is to get to the EuroLeague, which is the highest level. Like, that's a dream of mine at this point in my life right now. Well, I'm 24 years old right now, and I mean, I'm still young, and I have a lot of time. So that's probably my biggest goal. I want to tell them that it's not going to be easy. You're going to have times where you're bored. You're going to have times where you're lonely, but you have to try and see the brighter side of things and look at it as, oh, I'm here on a mission. I'm trying to get to this spot. I'm trying to get here. I'm trying to get there. Not to only better myself, but to better my family as well. Our parents are proud of us. Your parents are going to be proud of you. And at the end of the day, it's up to you to keep making them proud as well as making yourself proud.